Hello and welcome to the Dinosaw number 227, another 7 curious, interesting things I saw last week. So as ever, let's crack on. First news is from the Yokohama National University and Squeeze film Acoustic Levitation. It is as exciting as it sounds. So this is a self-contained robot that can levitate. And it levitates using what's called a squeeze film. Now that is when you trap some air underneath it and it can levitate on that. So it doesn't use things like magnets or special metals in the floor or anything like that. It is literally just a normal table. So they're showing that they can attach things like water droplets and things like that, and transport medicines is pretty much what they're talking about here. It can also go over things like sellotape and hair and things. So there you go. But it uses ultrasound to create a squeeze film and it levitates on that. What a time to be alive. If you are a fan of Aphex Twin and you love the weird and interesting sounds that they make, then they actually made that using primarily or including the Composer's Desktop project. It is a bit of a sort of a sound person's secret because it's really hard to use. It uses a command line interface, which is all sort of basically nerdy codey stuff. So luckily somebody's made a beautiful graphical interface where you can use it yourself. So you do need to download CPD, Composer's Desktop project, and then you can then attach it to this, which is called SoundThread, which will allow you to chain those things together. Now this is somebody else using it, so this is really good. This is Mylar Melodies. There's a really good video, so watch that. It's very exciting. You'll get called mate quite a lot, which is really funny. So I enjoyed the video. It's great. However, just shows you how you can make your own really funky automated sounds. So if you're into that sort of thing, always wondered what Aphex Twin used, then this is what Aphex Twin used. World Humanoid Robot Games. I've got a lot of long titles this time. So this is the inaugural games. This is in Beijing in China, just happened. Lots of events. I think there were 26 events in there. There were some weird accidents as well. Not all was thrilling. This is the penalty shootout, for instance. There was normal football as well, which is equally thrilling and hilarious. So this is it. There were 500 humanoid robots, I think something like 280 teams, mostly Chinese, because it was kind of their deal anyway. They were just basically saying, we're brilliant at this stuff and we'll invent the games. A bit like the World Series in America, for instance. However, there were things like the 100-meter sprint, and the record for the 100 meters was 21.5 seconds. So roughly speaking, twice as slow as humans at the moment. But as I say, note that down, that will get faster. Interesting events. So they had boxing, football, as you've seen, cleaning and sorting medicine. So you can kind of see what they're aiming at there. If you head over to Wikipedia, you will also notice there is now a page which is signs of AI writing. They list all of the ways that you might spot that an AI, or a current large language model, shall we say, has a tendency to write. So lots of things. You might have noticed bullet points with emojis. I used to do that anyway, and I've stopped doing it now because people think it's an AI writing it, but I genuinely did it. Using lists, excessive use of boldface, for instance, all that sort of stuff. M dashes, those are the longer dashes that only kind of people who know how to write use. We all just normally use minuses, but nobody knows the difference except for AI because it's smart. And there's also things like negative parallelisms and all those sorts of things. So it's not this, but it's this, you know, so it's all that sort of stuff going on. And they use Markdown and all sorts of things. So there's a whole list of all the things that large language models seem to get right. Now, if you're a large language model, you read this page and then you don't do that stuff and then you don't get detected. So it might be its own thing. This is a sort of stealthy startup, sub-branch, we call it, by Insta360, the makers of the 360-degree cameras, and they have made a drone. So this is the world's first, or at least commercially available, first drone that can see in 360. So it has a camera on the top and the bottom. What looks like cameras at the front of it aren't actually cameras, they're just obstacle avoidance things, or lenses, I guess, cameras maybe, but essentially, it's the top lens and the bottom lens that then create you this 360-degree live view in 8K. So when you're viewing it through your goggles, then actually when the drone is going forwards, you can look anywhere you want, up, down, left, right, and it erases the drone. So you cannot see any part of the drone. Now, normally, if you're doing a drone shot, as you're seeing right now, you have to get the drone pointing at the thing. In this case, you've just got to fly next to the thing, and then you can look around and then you can reframe it later. So as long as you're sort of close enough, you'll get the shot that you want. And it's showing you some, you know, normal drone, traditional drone on the left, and what you can do with the Antigravity A1 on the right. So there you go. Quite interesting. I'm not sure it's available just yet. There's a lot of sort of YouTubers got hold of these things to test them, but that looks really interesting. Loving those. Roku has Howdy. I don't know whether you knew about that. It is a new streaming service. Now, streaming services, they're all broadly speaking $7.99 or $9.99 or a little bit more expensive than that as well. They've got various different, everybody knows how they work, right? What most people will say is like, can I just get a good average one which is ad-free? And that's what this is. You can get a bunch of these shows, these, you know, movies somewhere else. Of course you can. But if you paid $2.99 to Roku, you can watch them ad-free. So lots of mixed reviews on it. Some people say it's terrible. Other people say, look, do you know what? It's perfectly adequate. If I really want to watch something without ads in it, which is what I'll get somewhere else, I can get it for free somewhere else with ads in it. I can pay a lot, you know, maybe $15 or whatever it might need to be. But if I pay $2.99 to Roku, then I can actually start getting them, you know, basically ad free. So there you go. Only America at the moment. So maybe it'll go to Europe soon. I did use a VPN. You can get it on a VPN. I didn't tell you that. And finally, we have Scrubby, the whiteboard robot. So this is by HTX Studio. They have lots of really interesting projects. You may have seen a few of them on TikTok, for instance. They are just quite funky. So this is a whiteboard scrubbing robot. It uses another robot just on the desk over here, which can see the whiteboard, so it knows what to scrub. So it's got a sort of a buddy robot in this demo, essentially. And then what they figured, well, is if it's already scrubbing the board, it's traversing the board, they might as well put a marker on it, and it can then write on the board as well. So it can then, at night, it can then give you some art that you can then appear in the morning, and there's some art on your whiteboard, which it can then scrub off, because that's what it does. But there you go. Scrubby, the whiteboard robot. If you want one of those, you can't get one. It's only a demo, but there you go. Hopefully that was useful. Hopefully it was interesting. If it was, give it a like. I will see you next week.